Ripple investors might face increased volatility according to this on-chain metric. Now, what a surprise. This came out this morning, and then we had a giant dip for XRP. With Ripple remaining in consolidation for the past few weeks, Sentiment has provided on-chain data that shows a significant divergence between price action and network activity, which is usually considered a volatility signal. The network activity indicators are usually strongly correlated with the price of an asset. With the rapid increase of the asset's value, traders and investors tend to move their funds more for various reasons, including selling on exchanges, payments, or redistribution. On the network activity price chart, we can clearly witness the movement order between the two metrics. The higher the network activity, the greater the chance of volatile movements on the trading pair. And you guys can see this down here. While these metrics may be useful in determining whether the market is going to face a volatility increase or not, cannot be considered a directional indicator since it does not signal whether an asset will move in one direction or another. Ripple's currently going through a wide array of events that may or may not affect its price positively or negatively. Since the SEC's actions against the company, the value of the coin has tripled, a positive sign for both the Ripple community and the crypto community in general. And it is important to remember that even though, and we talked about this yesterday, even though Ripple has been crushed by this SEC lawsuit in terms of price potential, it still is up considerably more than most other coins in the top 100, or at least in the top 200. It's still a top performer, still up 350 to 400% over the last year, even with the gigantic SEC lawsuit hanging over its head. And remember this, look, guys, it is not a coincidence. Okay, now I want to go back to something because you guys know that I told you that this lawsuit should be over by the end of September. Everyone knows that at this point. It was not over by the end of September. I said it'd probably be first 2 weeks of October. Still not over. Okay. Now, what did we just see? We just saw Uncle Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, come out and say, hey guys, it looks like this is swinging in the favor of Ripple, almost like there's no, at this point, it looks like they're going to win the case. Now, it's kind of weird, isn't it? That all of a sudden, especially knowing something that I know went on this weekend, and now that this comes right after that, I don't think it's a coincidence by any stretch of the imagination. Now, what happened with Coinbase in September? Let's go back to September, okay? You're seeing right now Uncle Brian say positive stuff about Ripple. Activity, meaning they could be getting ready to relist it or have those discussions, okay? Go back to September. What happened in September with Ripple and Coinbase? Does anybody remember? They accidentally relisted the XRP trading pairs. Almost like around that time, they knew it was supposed to be over. It is not over yet. Still, there is paperwork being done on the back end for this. As I always tell you, the T's are being crossed and the I's are being dotted. That is a significant part of what's going on behind the scenes. But there was something else that happened behind the scenes that I'm not at liberty to talk about at this point. But maybe down the road, I can give you guys a little more insight into that. It's a little too fresh right now. But, this was supposed to be over already. I'm telling you guys, there's no way this drags on into next year. By the end of November, this will definitely be done. I don't see any way possible. Maybe it could go, I guess, maybe to the middle of December as we are looking at Bitcoin peaking out around that time. It could actually be the last catalyst for Bitcoin to rise before it hits a top. And it kind of makes sense if you think about it. Because if this news came out, let's say the 1st of December as Bitcoin is topping out, that would push Bitcoin to a high, maybe $105,000, $110,000. Then on that news, people are like, oh gosh, I need to get as much Ripple as possible. They start pulling money out of Bitcoin and putting it at XRP. It'll be the number one coin people are investing in at that time. It'll be easy to do. It'll be back on Coinbase. Then what happens? The price of Bitcoin drops, but people aren't worried about it because they're all into XRP and it is going to rise through the roof throughout the next 4 to 6 weeks. After that, meanwhile, Bitcoin will be bleeding off and it will never return back to that high until the next cycle. It will back then. So very interesting stuff here. All right, so let's move on here.